Secretary Blinken has utterly failed in his duties as Secretary of State, as defined by the roles and duties of the position in statute. They're clearly written in Title 22 of the U.S. Code. For instance, the Secretary of State shall develop and implement policies and programs to provide for the security of the United States government operations of a diplomatic nature. Clearly wasn't done in Afghanistan, as we have abandoned our embassy. He's tasked with security responsibilities, including, quote, emergency planning. Clearly, emergency planning wasn't done. He's tasked with counterterrorism planning and coordination, including emergency action planning and threat analysis programs. Clearly not done in Afghanistan. And finally, the Secretary of State is responsible for overseas evacuations. Many people don't realize this. It's not the Department of Defense, it's the Secretary of State. The Secretary of State, the code says, shall develop and implement policies and programs to provide for the safe and efficient evacuation of United States government personnel, dependents, and private United States citizens when their lives are endangered. Such policies shall include measures to identify high-risk areas where evacuation may be necessary. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Afghanistan was one of those areas where evacuation was necessary. And even last week, we were told by the Secretary that no American who wants to leave will be left behind, and yet we know now that over 100 Americans who wanted to leave were left behind. This is the responsibility of the Secretary of State. The Secretary of State utterly failed in his duties to develop and implement an effective, safe, and efficient evacuation plan, and he must be held accountable. He has to be held accountable because around the world, Russia, China, North Korea, and Iran at this moment imminently threaten our allies. And we need to be certain that something like Afghanistan doesn't happen to one of our other allies. We need new, competent leadership at the State Department, and it starts with the resignation or impeachment of the Secretary.